Now we do, yes. The church
Okay.
was automatically recorded, so I had to fix this one. We got it.
Okay, sounds good. Well, we will go ahead and get started then, and then she can add more as they check their emails, hopefully. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Carla Dean, the music minister's wife at First Church. We've been here about 5 years, and it kind of seems like we've been here forever, but that's a good thing. We love it here, and I'm glad to get to be a part tonight and be a co-host along with our pastor's wife, Sister Gurley. I told her the other day when we were talking about this, I'm like, why do they have me on here with a host of an HGTV house flip show with Sister Gurley, because she does all these houses and completely flips them. And I'm just an OR nurse who just likes to do projects sometimes at home. So you guys will just have to bear with me tonight, and then you'll get to see the pro here in a few minutes.
Right.
Okay, so with DIY projects, I don't know if your definition of DIY is the same as mine, but my DIY definition is I see an idea and Jonathan gets to do it. So it's not do it yourself, it's do it Jonathan. But he's a great assistant project manager. But so I'm going to I created a PowerPoint. It's the easiest way to kind of show you some different projects and stuff. So I am going to share my screen right now. Let's hope we have no other technical difficulties. So let me go to my PowerPoint that I have created. And you guys, Jennifer, you can let me know if it's good to go.
I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks
Are you good?
Yeah, if I can see
it.
Okay,
Okay, awesome. All right, well, we'll get started real quick, and I will try to condense this since we are running later than normal, and I don't want to run into Sister Gurley's time. But so they asked us just to do some DIY house projects, and again, disclaimer, I am not a decorator, an interior designer by any means. There are way better decorators on here than me, but I just want to share just a few things that we've done here at our house and just share that with you. So for our major quarantine project has been our backyard. Like I said, we've lived here about 5 years, and in this house about 4. And we have just been focusing on the inside of the house. So we had done nothing to our backyard. It was basically a blank canvas, a small little porch, and just a plain stained fence that at least my husband did stain at the beginning when we moved in. So I'm going to start and just show you kind of what the few things that we have done to our backyard since we've been in quarantine and had nothing else better to do. So like I said, we have a great size house. It's great for all we need. But the back porch is just a very small, I don't even know the dimensions of it right off the top of my head, but just a very small porch. So we wanted to do something to make it a little bigger and a little more user-friendly, a little more space. So we decided to expand our patio with cement pavers and rocks, and then trim it out. There's lots of things you can trim it out with, and we chose some kind of a dark gray brick at this point to trim it with. But I'll show you more of a close-up pic. But so we went out several feet, probably 10 extra feet, which gave us more space, and we're going to eventually put probably a fire pit out there with a couple more chairs as well. With cement pavers, there are lots of things you can do. You can get extremely creative with these, and I'll show you. I love some of the ideas that you will see on Pinterest. We just went with the rock for now, but as you can see, you can lay these out in all different designs, more on a square grid pattern or diagonal. And then you can allow grass to grow in between them, or you can do the rock like we chose to do. But I'll show you another thing. If you're really creative and you want to, you can also paint these stones, these cement pavers. And then, or you can go with a concrete stain, which is also a very nice look. We went with I think they're 2x2 foot cement blocks, like at Home Depot or Lowe's. You can get them bigger, but at Lowe's, I think this is about the largest size that they have. You can go bigger, or if you're really creative and your husband doesn't mind a really big project, you can build out the frames and do like really large rectangles, which looks amazing. I love those. I don't know that I could talk Jonathan into that right now. But so yeah, there's so many options that you can do with these. Look at, if you are like us and you have small area in the backyard and you want to extend it, look on Pinterest. There are so many ways you can do this, and some really incredible, way better than what we did at this time. But yeah, there's lots of options out there. And then we also added this small 12 by 12 foot deck that you can see is pretty empty right now, other than some plants that we have put out there. We have additional plans, obviously, to get some patio furniture, probably a table and chairs up there, and then a fire pit and on the lower part. So lots of more usable space for us out there. Our kids used to never go out in the backyard, and now they love going out there and playing, and we really still don't have much out there, but we're getting there. As you know, like I know in our subdivision, most everybody has these ugly electrical boxes in their yards at some point. So we wanted to hide that, and the back of our house is complete windows. So you see directly into the backyard and you see those ugly electrical boxes. Another option is to landscape around it, put some nice shrubs around it, some plants, whatever. We have wanted a vine wall for quite a while now. And so my husband, with the help of a friend in our church, built this wall partition, and then we planted jasmine in that, and you can see it's just very much in its early stages. So, but we did that to hide and to cover up that ugly area. This is more of a close-up look. If you want to do this vine wall, you can do it. You can see we have a kind of a diamond grid pattern on there, and it looks really nice once it's grown all the way. And you do have to maintain it. I've heard, this is my first, but you do have to maintain it. But it does turn out really pretty, really thick and full. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably see my kids' pictures in front of it here in a few months if it all turns out well. But so yeah, so that's one extra little thing that we did just to cover up that ugly electrical boxes. So then my husband, he wanted to add a little interest factor to our back fence, which is just up against a tree line. So we started looking at pics and just trying to get some inspiration. There's so much you can do, not as much that you can do with the type of fence that we have. And obviously we're not going to tear down and redo a whole fence. So we just kind of worked with what we had. We looked at pics for inspiration. And so my husband came up with this idea, and he actually put some 2 by 12 foot, of course they were cut to the length of our fence, but they're about 2 foot wide, black painted boards, just to kind of space it out and add some interest. And then you can see on the smaller picture, he actually put some solar lights in those, and those are not, that's an inexpensive update. If you're trying to add those, they're like 4 solar lights for $18 on Amazon. So very cheap. I will say, while I'm looking at this picture, that I'm annoyed with my grass because we had some issues with chinch bugs last year. And so it's being treated and it's not where it needs to be yet, but hey, we're working on it and it's come a long way. So just don't judge me by the dark spot in my grass that you see right now. We are working on it. All right, so I will show you the solar lights, what they look like in the evening. It looks really nice and it's peaceful out there. So just wanted to show you that. So another thing that we did to our very small little patio is added some curtains to the little posts that we have. We just have one corner little post. So here are some pictures of some curtains that you can add to like a back porch or a back patio space. These look really amazing. You can go with solids, prints. I love the print in the middle. I think that's really classy. Lots of different ways to hang them. You can let them hang. You can drape them to the post. But it just adds a unique touch. I think I'm going to show you ours before we added any curtains. And so this is preliminary stages here once we've added the pavers. But then after we added the curtains, you can see like what a difference it makes just within that small little space. So this is a very inexpensive update if you want to add a neat little touch to your back porch area and space. This is something that's really simple to do. We just hang the rods obviously from the ceiling and then choose your curtains, and make sure you get outdoor curtains that will hold up in the rain and the wind and all the nice Houston weather that we have. All right, so that's been our little outdoor project that we've done. I say we, my husband pretty much did everything. I just stood out there and supervised a lot. And we might need marriage counseling after all this, but he's been really good to work with. So now I'm going to show you a few projects that we've done inside our home. So I don't know if you've ever felt like this, but at some point you're kind of like, I really don't want to change anything. It's so hard to keep up with the styles, but we do our best every now and then, and we'll update gradually little things. So the next thing I want to show you is this is in our kids' bathroom, and I don't even know who told me about to do this, and it makes such a difference. But this is not necessarily a DIY project, it's just something we like and it's made a huge difference, is mounting your shower curtains from the ceiling versus just lower like a standard length shower curtain. It draws the eye upward and visually heightens the space. Like this is a pretty small bathroom, and but by hanging these curtains from the ceiling, it really makes it feel much bigger, much more space. And what's great about doing your shower curtain like this is you can do custom curtains if you want to do custom curtains. But these are obviously not a normal shower length curtain. They're just curtains that I found that I liked. I actually had to hem them. They were actually longer than this. And then I got on Amazon, and you can order a clear shower curtain and hang it on a tension rod right behind it. You can kind of see in the picture the second rod that's hanging at the same level behind it. So there's just a clear shower curtain behind that. But I love how it heightens the room, and I'm going to show you a couple more pictures. You can see the picture on the left of just a standard length shower curtain. That's actually an Anthropologie curtain on the left, but it doesn't look near as nice because it's so much shorter, and you can see these other ones being raised, how much difference it makes. And you can get really creative with your shower curtains. You can find fabric that you love, have curtains made, or shop at your favorite places and get whatever curtains that you prefer. All right, so while I'm in the kids' bathroom, this is another little small project that you can do that'll make a big difference and just add a little bit of interest to a normal wall. And so this wall is to the left right as you walk in, and we just added this wainscoting. I say we, my husband, added this and then some little towel hooks, painted it, and there you go. It looks pretty cute. But so that's one little thing that's an easy thing to do while we're all sitting at home for a little bathroom update. And then here's another way that you can do this. I have not done this style. I pulled these pictures off of Pinterest, and this just shows you another simple way to kind of get the same effect, but it is different. It looks pretty cute. All right, so while we're talking about changing wall features, this is our living room, and our living room has extremely high ceilings, like 22 feet, I believe. And so my husband and my sweet daddy did this picture frame molding for us. And you can see, if you research all this picture frame molding, there's 100 ways you can do this, different designs. You can do only one square on the bottom, one frame on the bottom, or however you want to do it. This is how we chose to do it with the size of our wall. But it turned out great, and then we painted it. I believe this color is called Chelsea Gray. And so it's just kind of our feature wall. When we were building this house, we went into like the model home, and it's of course this massive blank 22-foot wall. Well, they just had these huge metal pieces of artwork, like kind of looked like Hobby Lobby or whatever, and they were trying to like decorate the whole wall, and it's just not my preference personally, and it's just too big of a wall to try to decorate. So this was a simple solution and a very inexpensive if you do it yourself. If you hired it out, I'm sure you could, pay a good price. But if your husband or dad or father-in-law is a handyman, this is a simple project to do. You just need a really big ladder if your ceiling's this high. So another wall option that we have done is in our baby Zuri's room is a wall mural. And this one is from wallsneedlove.com. And they have, I say hundreds, I'm not sure how many, a ton of different wall murals, all different styles. This is just the one we chose for her little sweet little room. But this is simple to hang, and the good thing about these, it's not a major commitment, because if you don't like it, I think up to 3 years, it just peels right off. So if it's something you've been thinking about, I know like wallpaper, they have such cool wallpapers now, and I never thought like that wallpaper would be back in style, but it's made a comeback. And I don't know if my mom made it on this call. She was supposed to be on this call. I can't see everybody right now, but I know we used to have some scary wallpaper and borders in our house that were nice burgundy, hunter green, and navy. And those were quite a catastrophe to rip down once the styles changed. But these type murals are supposed to just peel right off. So I'll have to update you when we get ready to take it down if that's true or not, and give you my review. But it is a simple way to make a huge feature wall. Like if you have a small room, it's great for kids' rooms. Okay, so the next thing is just, we all know about IKEA, living here where there's lots of IKEAs. And I'm just going to show you just a couple IKEA hacks that we have done. This is in our master bathroom. This is just a glass shelf from IKEA for the low price of $49. And I love this look, but we didn't want it black, and it also comes in white, I believe. So we actually spray painted it. I'm not sure, I can't remember who told us about this hack, but we do love it. It's a great size little shelf with glass shelves, and a great price. If you priced a similar shelf, from a designer, a decor store, then you would pay much more than $49 on the price of your spray paint. So just wanted to show you that. They also have this, we didn't do this one, but this is another option. They have the two sides, and so this is another option you can do. I pulled this picked off of Pinterest just to show you how they did it. If you'll notice at the top of this, they also added little, looks like little doorknob, little cabinet handles, and also painted those. And I think it adds a cute touch to that. So these are still available should you need a glass shelf. They are still at IKEA, I checked. And then my last IKEA hack was this mirror. I liked the just straight line mirrors, and I wanted to do a couple bedside mirrors. I'm kind of plain. I'm not real frou-frou, so I just kind of like streamline stuff. But anyway, so we did these mirrors and for a great price, as you can see. And we actually painted these as well with the same spray paint that we use in our bathroom mirrors. So those are just a few little IKEA hacks and tricks. And I'm sure there's tons of other mirrors and things there by now, since we have bought these, that you could do the same thing too. So that is that. Last thing is an actual picture of my husband's face. This is his facial expression. This is not him, but this is what he looked like during some of my projects. But he was a trooper, and he's worked really hard. I wish he was here to hear me brag on him, but he did great. My problem was I would get out there as they were working in my backyard and decide, oh, I don't think I like that. Let's do it this way. And so I would get this look a lot. And thank the Lord, he's full of the Holy Ghost, or he probably would have called me a lot of bad names. But anyway, so just wanted to share that. But thank you guys for joining me. I hope I didn't rush too fast, but I didn't want to hold you guys very long. So this is just, like I said, I am not a decorator, but we do like to do as much ourselves as we can instead of having to hire certain things out. And so we have fun doing it. And when you do projects like this and you do it yourself and you can do it for cheaper, then you don't mind going back 4 or 5 years later and tearing it down and changing and doing something different. So it's not as big of a financial commitment when you do it yourself. But I hope you've enjoyed it. I am going to turn it over to Sister Girly now, the professional, and you will get to hear some of her ideas. We will open it up at the end. I see some chat going on, but I will, at the end, we'll take a few minutes and just answer questions. Is that okay, Sister Girly, instead of doing anything now? Okay. All right. I'm going to turn it over to her. I'm going to mute myself because I'm tired of hearing myself talk.
Carla, thank you. What great ideas. And I love it whenever you can just, I mean, you know, we all love IKEA, right? It's a love-hate relationship. Hold on just a minute. I'm looking for my PowerPoint. I've got excellent help here. Thank God. There we go. There we go. Can y'all see my screen? Everybody see my screen? Well, I have to say thanks to a couple of people. First of all, my sweet husband for helping me with all this technology here. And then Kenzie, which is on this call, she helped me with doing my PowerPoint. Carla and I were talking, and Carla was saying she's having Sharan come over and take her pictures professionally. And I said, oh no, I'm pulling mine off of Google Earth. So anyway, Sharan, great job on Carla's pictures. And first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Tessie Girly. I'm senior pastor's wife at First Church, and I've been here actually just about all of my life, not all those years as pastor's wife, but my parents pastored before here, and I came to Pearland when I was 13 years old, and gone away one time for several years. We lived in Lufkin, and then got to come back home and be pastor's wife of my home church. And all I have to say is I love First Church for loving me and letting me be their pastor's wife. But whenever we were talking about the DIY projects, that's not really what I do. I've always loved decorating, and I never really thought of myself as a house flipper. But I guess all of my life, when I was very small, my dad was always one that he would remodel. He was a flipper before flippers were cool. And I remember as a young child, we would drive around and he would take us and we would see these big for sale signs on houses and saying for sale to move. And before we knew it, well, we had a house moved onto our property and my dad was remodeling. So once that happened, I guess I just thought, you know, I enjoy decorating, but over the years, my dad sort of, well, he got older. And so I thought at 85 years old, that was probably a good time for him to retire. So I inserted myself into his rental properties. And when I started looking and delved a little deeper, it was like they were very much in disarray. And so I thought, you know what, I think it's time I step in here. And I really didn't have that intention, but it has, it's consumed quite a bit of my time. So let me show you. We started with, he's got quite a few properties, and I think everybody likes makeovers. I follow all these makeovers on my Instagram, and it's like, yes, I can't wait to see the before and after. So let me start here with what he had a property on Main Street. And so I thought, good for the city and good for us that we make things look a little bit better here. As you can see, it needed to look a little bit better. This house, and it's a property, it's a commercial property. It was a car lot. It had a terrible roof. It had a cracked foundation. The ceiling was falling in because of the leaky roof. The plumbing underneath the house was galvanized. So because of the cracked foundation, none of the plumbing worked. And then the asphalt was terrible. So I thought, okay, where do I start? Well, the first thing I had to do was to fix the foundation. I couldn't do anything else, I thought, till, you know, you can't put a new roof on a house with a cracked foundation. So I started with the foundation. We did the plumbing at the same time. We put a new roof. Then we started on the interior decorating that. So we went in. Let me show you some, let's see, other pictures here. Okay, so this was the kitchen. It was horrendous, to say the least. But I got my dimensions, and talking about IKEA, I got my dimensions, and they have got an incredible tool. If you go to their website, you can plug in the dimensions of your kitchen. So you would, you can take out the window section. You could just measure it all, get all your dimensions. Then you can actually take their cabinets and plug them in to your spaces. So they've got appliances there that you can plug in, which they do vary, yes, but there are some that are standard. A dishwasher is a pretty standard. A microwave is pretty standard. Refrigerators can vary. A stove, just a drop-in stove is pretty standard. And so if you can go to IKEA, you can design all this. Now that does not mean you have to buy IKEA cabinets because, you know, I saw a picture and it said, build a log cabin from IKEA. And it was a truck, just a truck it was piled full of logs cut 1 foot lengths, you know, and it's like, okay, here's your, just put your log cabin together. Anyway, you can plug everything into, if you decide to not get your appliances at IKEA, that's fine. Take your diagram to Home Depot. You can take their cabinets. They're pretty much the same, and just plug them in. So if you want a drawer bay or a bay of drawers, if you can put whatever that you want into the space, and it's three-dimensional, so it gives you a good idea of what it's going to look like. Okay, then this was sort of the after effects. So I took my diagram, and we basically, because this house did not need a commercial kitchen. Did not need a residential kitchen. I just put shelves, and it's not a great big kitchen. It just had has a refrigerator, microwave, and stove, and a sink and dishwasher, because there was nothing else needed. So this was the bathroom vanity. So this is what the cabinets in the kitchen also looked like. And I got my own hardware. I put the hardware on there. I got granite countertops. These cabinets were plain. So I had my carpenter take wood, cut wood out, and they glued it onto these cabinets to make them more decorative than what they were. But then this would, we're going off of this diagram. Then this was the kitchen. This was before the cabinets were painted. So that just gives you sort of an idea of what I did. Then on the exterior, let me show you some things. Okay, this is the after. Okay. It had a double car garage, of which you can see, and I'm one of those people, I don't like for it to look like, oh, so you took your garage into part of the house, That's just kind of one of my pet peeves. And so I took hardy plank and had my carpenter put the hardy plank on one of the bays, and then made the entrance sort of in the other bay, which it turned out okay. It doesn't look like just a garage, which I did not want it to. Well, also, this is a rental, so I had already spent so much money on everything else, so I didn't want to change the windows in this house. So they were old, but I got Clifford Pereira. He's a man in our church. He does blinds and also screens, and he's got a business, and so any money that he makes on that, he sends it to India, and so it's a donation and for whatever project. So I feel like it's for a good cause. And then also he's in our church, so I did this sort of on my own. The windows were old, as I said, but I had him come out and measure the mullions. Now, a mullion in a window is the metal part that goes down and create the aluminum, whatever it may be, that creates the squares or whatever in your window. So I had him measure those, and this is nothing more than screens. I spray painted them black. Now he spray paints them for me, but I spray painted them black. He put the new screens. So those are actually screens. They're not new windows. So I left this is actually 3 screens here, one here, and one here. I left the center just like it was before, but it gave it a totally different look. Then I went, so the shutters, the screens come from Clifford Pereira. The shutters on either side, I use a company called architecturaldepot.com. They've got incredible things, more ideas than you could ever possibly think, just gadgets for your house. So I put shutters on there. Well, another problem was that this asphalt went all the way up to the house itself, so I could not do a flower bed or any kind of shrubs or anything because there was asphalt there. So at the end, I'll show you all my resources. This greenery right here and right here is fake, and it is from New Growth Designs. I ordered it, and it comes, it's a metal frame, and you just put it will withstand the sun. Those have been there probably about close to 2 years. I built a fake looking flower bed and just stuck the artificial boxwoods in there and made it look like a real flower bed, which it's all fake. Now the plants here, those are real, and I just put them in a pot because we can water those, but everything else there is artificial. So it just it made a difference in the look of that house. Well, okay, so another house we moved to was this, and we just purchased this not long ago. But when I looked at it, I thought, okay, this is great. It's a cute house. I didn't do much to the inside of this one. It was pretty, the people that lived there before had done a great job. But I thought the outside, it just needs something. So I measured, or I matched paint to the brick to see what color I wanted. And then there again, I was looking here and I thought, okay, I've got a problem because I've got a brick ledge. I cannot do a shutter there to decorate that window. It was old screens. So I took and painted the house colors that I thought would match, got my screens from Clifford Pereira, and then had my carpenter build an arbor over this window to just give it some pizzazz and just make it look cool. I ordered the brackets from Architectural Depot, which that was a little bit more, those cost a little bit more, but the rest we did it ourselves. So that's my DIY project. I Googled and got a YouTube video, and my carpenter cut these. You can't see them, but they've got like a little arc on them. So he built that like in, goodness, an hour and a half or whatever. But it just really, and then shrubs, ladies, let me tell you, shrubs can cover a multitude and just make a total difference in what any design, basically any design. So really all I did to this was just paint and put my screens just to update it a little bit. My next project was, okay, this was a nice house. It was very, I guess, unkept on the inside. We had to do quite a bit of work to the inside of this, but it was amazing when I started doing working on this house. Neighbors started coming out and just talking to me and telling me how much they appreciated, because they said it's such a nice house and it has just not been taken care of, and we're so happy that you've gotten it and just made a difference. So we basically just painted the outside, and this house had new windows, so I added the shutters. And just FYI, you can Google this, but if you're ordering shutters, you order them the window length, not the whole frame and everything, just the length of the window. So you put your shutters. Then I got a new light fixture here. So really it was just paint here is all, and what, it made a pretty big difference there. Okay, let's see. This was an older house that I did. When I bought it, it looked like this. It was built in 1960. It had never had central air and heat. So we went in and put air conditioner in it, and also got a new roof, because I don't know why every house I buy needs a new roof. But anyway, we put a new roof on it. Let me insert right here. The colors, what I do, if you are interested, Sherwin-Williams has a great program or a tool on their website that you can take a picture of your house, upload it into their program, and you can take any color that they create, put it on your house, and see what your house would look like in that color. So to me, it's a great tool. You may put something on there and think, oh my word, that looks terrible, or it may be something that you just love. So you can play with it. And I have literally spent hours doing that just because I like to do it. Let's see, the other thing here was this house these were the cabinets to begin with, had no dishwasher. And so I opted to change the bottom cabinets because I just couldn't work. If you notice how wide the doors were, I just could not recreate them to modernize them enough to put what needed to be put in a kitchen. So I took the bottom cabinets out and went to Home Depot, got shaker cabinets for just this area right here. Shaker is the cabinets that just have like a wood rim around here. So I took these out, got new cabinets. I kept the ones on the top. We took the base cabinets out and installed new. You can see those were new. Well, these were in the back bedroom of the house. You can see they're totally different. They don't match anything. I got these white, and then we took the doors on these cabinet doors and created the white or the wood around them to give them all the same look. Okay, so these doors had the same, this wood rim around them, and that was just something we did to try to make them match, okay? So I really created, and these cabinets were in a back bedroom somewhere that were not being used. So I brought them out and put new hardware, new hinges, and it's amazing. That's really cheap. You can get handles and stuff like that at Amazon for very reasonable, and hinges. Hinges make a big difference. If they're old and yucky, change them. They're not that expensive. So let me get to my, okay, there you go. That's the inside of the kitchen after we used all those different kinds of cabinets and painted them, and they all look the same now. So this was a really fun project. There was a wall here. This door right here was over here on this wall. This wall went all the way across to like right there. So we knocked all that out, changed the door. So this was one of those really fun projects as well, but it turned out really cute. The floors were wood and I just had them restored and they look great. Okay, let me go to, okay, this was one that we worked on. Let's see, you can see I did quite a bit of remodeling on the inside. However, on this, I just did the repainting. The roof was changed when we purchased the house. And so I just went on, and there again, I played on that Sherwin-Williams website forever trying to coordinate my colors. But this is now it's a beauty shop. And so the girl, it's a beauty shop, the best little beauty shop in a house or whatever. And so she wanted it into a little old house. So this is an old town. So she loved it, and the painting just completely transformed the look of this little house. So it's great. Let me see. Okay, so this is another one we're working on actually right now. When we bought this, you can see the roof. It needed a new roof. The windows were horrible. Everything in this house was pink. The brick was pink. The trim was pink. The oven was pink. The sink was pink. The stove, the drop-in stove was pink. So, and a family lived there. So the mother just must have been very strong-willed because she was able to pull off. The bathrooms were pink. It was just totally pink all the way through. So we came in and it's like, okay, the pink's got to go. So this is turning into right now as we speak. In fact, we just installed these, well, let me see. We just installed these French doors. Those are stationary, like Monday. This will be a counselor's office here beginning of June. So once again, old windows, but I put new screens with the in the shape just like the mullions were. I put new screens, put shutters. Those are small windows. I now have black gutters on here, which they did that yesterday. But shrubs, everything, it just makes a difference. So this was just one of those painting things that I did and got rid of some pink, which I was glad to see it go. One more here, we purchased this little house and it had like a lean-to on a garage as a garage. And so it's kind of like, oh, I didn't care for it, but we got a really good deal on the house. So we took the garage and created an actual garage. So this was the lean-to here and came off the side of the house and created a door there, put a wall here so a car could get in there, and created a garage for you to be able to see. And then the shutters were there, so I painted the shutters black. I don't know why that, are y'all painted the shutters, I don't know, are y'all seeing that on the, anyway, you can see that we put a garage door in it. And so it just turned out to be a cute little house. Shrubs, we put shrubs again in the front, which makes all the difference in the world. Okay, and this one, I did not get a picture of the outside, which it's horrible. It's horrible, but it does not look anything like that now. But I wanted to show you that when we got this, actually this house was given to my dad because they were putting in a subdivision and this house was on the property and they wanted to get it off. So they told him they would give it to him if he would just move it off. So it's like, well, okay, I had never done that before, so I got the opportunity to have a house moved off and placed on another piece of property. Well, when I went in to look at the house, it looked like this, okay, this right here. It was horrible. It was horrible. So what I did, I took all of the cabinets that were here, we cleaned them, and then just separated them and took the different ones and placed them where I thought they would fit the best. We separated it right here to put in a dishwasher. I painted I had all the cabinets painted. This was these cabinets, okay? We changed the hardware, changed the hinges, put new little handles right here, got a new backsplash, and I put granite, of course, and it just turned out as cute as it possibly could be. The outside looks really cute as well, but I failed to get a picture of the outside before this session. So, and I wanted to take, these are just the resources that I use all the time, and it's just you know, like I said, on Architectural Depot, you can find all kind of stuff there, and for reasonable. And you know, just take what you've got and see if you can't repurpose it. You know, I mean, a paint and new hinges and door handles and whatever else, it can transform an old set of cabinets or anything. And so, and then Brother Pereira, which I'm sure he would love for me to promote his business because I use him all the time, because it makes such a difference in just doing the screens, you know, with the black mullions in there. So anyway, but I love doing this. As I said, I never really found or thought of myself as a house flipper, but for whatever reason, I became a house flipper. But I enjoy it. It's something that I enjoy. I get a lot of gratification out of it because I can just see something transformed, you know, that's horrible. And, you know, I was telling Carla today, I just started thinking about, you know, the project, the DIY project. And I thought, I'm not really a DIY person, but, you know, I love a transformation. And I thought, you know what? I can only imagine what God feels like when he takes somebody that has lived a horrible life, and in their mind, a horrible life, and take the pieces of what's left and put it back together. I know he has got to be, only God can see through that. And I thought, you know what? With God, living for God, it's not a DIY project. It's a God, here I am, take what's left and make me over. Do a makeover on me. And I want to say to all of you ladies, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for joining our class. And Carla, thank you so much for all your DIY projects. I love it. And so if y'all have questions or whatever, Jennifer, I think you're the host. If you want to take it back over.
Oh, I'm fine.
You and Lauren are doing a great job.
Jennifer did post in the chat that this meeting might cut off on us. Jennifer, are you showing a time?
No,
left?
show the time, but I did, Jared helped me to post another link in the chat. And if this were to shut down, we can click on that new link and continue with more time. That's the only way we can get to work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let me see. Let me get my, how do I get off of the share screen? Oh, stop share. There we go.
Okay, there we go.
Is it all? There we go. There we go.
So, Carla or Sister Girly, is there anything else y'all want to share? Any more projects, or are we done?
I don't think so, unless if anyone has a question. Or I'm sorry, I noticed after I finished that someone asked if I could make my screen bigger. I didn't know it was really small. I apologize. So if my pictures weren't big enough, this will be archived, so you can go back and view things later again if you would like. But if there's questions, you can put them in the chat, or there's only 12 of us on here. You raise your hand, we can unmute or whatever.
That's true.
Yeah, since there's only 12, that would be easier to do. But any questions, any ideas you want to share, anything?
You're like, ooh, ah.
Oh yeah, Columbus.
So I'm not hearing any questions, so.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Then everybody got no questions?
Excellent. So.
Was this an incredible night or what? Oh my goodness. We'll talk about this for a lifetime.
Yes.
Very good.
Well, if you
Let's
ladies
just
don't.
hope let's just hope our next ladies meeting gets to be in person.
Absolutely.
No more pandemic.
Oh, I love all of y'all. I guess we'll see you hopefully maybe next week or on maybe Sunday morning. I log online while sitting in the sanctuary so I can see everybody that's watching. So y'all join us Sunday morning.
Thanks again, everybody, for joining. Sorry again for the technical difficulties. This is a learning curve for us.
Love everybody. Love everybody.
Y'all have a great night. Take care.